Hey, you guys, I hope this kind of just clicks back on for you. I am not sure exactly what just happened. It's never happened to me before, but the live feed just stopped. So hopefully it clicked back on. Just letting folks know. I am going to blame that on Comcast. Comcast is my provider, and it's somewhat intermittent. My apologies. Hopefully people are coming back online. I'm still here, Adam Dreyfus, the Chief Science Officer of AnswersNow. I am waiting to see if somebody writes a comment, and I know that I'm kind of back. If you are coming back on, there's Allison. It's nice to be back. Not sure, it said my feed was interrupted. So we're here talking tonight about ABA therapy. I am the Chief Science Officer for AnswersNow, which is a app that you download onto your phone, and it can connect you as a parent or a caregiver of someone on the autism spectrum directly with a certified clinician to support you in however you need support. Working on specific goals, working through some IEPs, troubleshooting your next vacation, taking your kid to Disneyland, you name it, and we are here to assist you. It is an ABA service delivery system. All of the clinicians on our platform are master's level board certified behavior analysts who are extraordinarily well qualified to help you with any of the questions that you've got. We also just launched parent communities. So if you're not quite ready or you're not sure exactly how this works and you don't want to sign up for a clinician right away, you can join one of the parent groups. You just go download the app, sign up, select find your community and join a group. We've got groups specific to helping out with transitions and kind of challenging behaviors and even victories. We got parents who, as they should, yell it loud and proud from the rooftops when their kids and adults that they care for learn new things, because what that means is their world's getting bigger. They're getting closer to being independent. So Heather had a goal that I missed when we dropped off. Sometimes it's hard to figure out what goals to prioritize when talking with our BCBA. We can't work at anything at once, but we sure want to. That's a great question. So my general rule of thumb is that 10 to 12 goals are manageable, certainly for a clinical team. Like if you have a behavior tech, sometimes called a registered behavior technician, an RBT, working with you quite a bit a week, or a BCBA working with you directly. I run a very large school for kids with autism, and that's our target, 10 or 12. You get much past that, and it does get difficult to work on all of them. But what you hopefully will do is, like Heather says, you prioritize. You go for the ones that will result in the biggest gain. And a lot of the times you can combine working on them. So if you think like communication, there's usually like 3 or 4, maybe even 5 communication goals. And essentially, communication is communication. You can work on all of those simultaneously because you're working on different aspects. Maybe being able to listen, maybe being able to talk, being able to respond. You want them all working at the same time anyway. Melissa just asked, how can you get a child to tell you when they are getting overly stimulated by sensory input before they have a meltdown? Can they recognize it themselves? Absolutely. It is very similar, and this is why it's very challenging, to teaching somebody how to know that they have to go to the bathroom, right? Like your body begins to send signals to you way before it's conscious. By the time you're like, whoa, I need to find a bathroom. Biological changes have been happening in your body for a while. So it's that what we call covert internal recognition. And as a parent, I've got a 3 and a 5-year-old, and this is a specific one I'm working on right now. You look for outside behaviors, things that you can see that indicate what's going on. So like in terms of the bathroom, we call it, the little pee-pee dance, right? You look at your kid and they're like kind of crossing their legs and they got that look on their face. You're like, you need to go to the bathroom? nope, no, I'm fine. And then next thing you know that they're sprinting. So the way that you can help with this, in this case, Melissa, is your parents are great at this. They usually are the ones that feel a meltdown coming on even before the kid is. We call those indicator behaviors, the things. Sometimes it's outside. Sometimes you know the things that set your kid off. But a lot of times it's your kid begins to, maybe they get quiet, maybe they get loud. I mean, every kid has different indicator behaviors. And so you would do the same thing there. You would identify that for them. You're sort of teaching them the name for that feeling, that, hey, it looks to me like you are approaching a meltdown. How does that feel? Like, you know, in your case, you've got a kid who can communicate back to you. Is that what's happening? Is that, and they frequently aren't great at giving you answers at first. It's not something that they are usually very good at, is kind of doing that, turning their consciousness, for lack of a better word, internally, and thinking like, oh yeah, I do have a meltdown kind of coming. But they absolutely can recognize it. And one of the things that a good behavior analyst would do, in the same way a good parent will do, is teach coping strategies. We can just leave. Like, that's a perfectly acceptable one. If you're headed towards what you know is going to be a meltdown, it's I will probably share a little oversharing. Like, I don't like being in crowds. I start getting like too many people around me, I just leave. There is not, I'm not going to count down. I'm not going to sing to myself. I'm going to exit. And that's one of the things that comes with independence, right? You learn how to navigate the world. So yeah, absolutely, Melissa. I'm not sure how many we have now, but I'm going to ask you. Go ahead and ask, Heather. I got you, Heather. I've known Heather for a while. Getting our son to be self-reflective often backfires because he turns it into negative self-talk. Yeah, that's one of the unintended consequences of kids who are very verbal and have very sophisticated communication tools, is especially if they've got behaviors that they struggle with, they can have a lot of negative self-talk, exactly like Heather says. Like, I'm a bad kid, I can't control myself, people are making fun of me. That's really where that CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, can be really effective. But the main thing that you want to do is teach them adaptive skills. I'm going to exit. I'm going to ask someone for a break. I'm going to find someone who can, or I have something that can help me calm down. We all do it. You can look at little kids and say, oh, they've got blankets. Oh, they've got little bears. But adults have them too. And we all have our ways of self-soothing and calming ourselves down. Usually it's in our head, right? We're like, everything's gonna be okay. I've been through this before. But sometimes that voice in your head is not your friend and not helping you out. They're like, no, you're a bad person. You don't deserve this job. So yeah, it can be a huge challenge. Heather's kind of nailed one there. Just to reiterate, I'm Adam Dreyfus. I'm the Chief Science Officer of AnswersNow. We're here talking about ABA therapy tonight on our somewhat abbreviated live Ask Me Anything. So I'm answering questions from parents and whoever wants to chime in. It's nice seeing everybody here and talking about our app at AnswersNow that you can download at the Apple Store and the Google Store. It's all one word, AnswersNow. And right, if you did it tonight, you can be connected to your own clinician. We're really happy to announce that we've launched parent communities, which are a free resource for any parent that wants to come join. You just sign up and click Find Your Community and join a group. And we've got a bunch of different groups for a lot of different topics, from victories, like, hey, things that are going really well and you want to share with some folks and connect with some other parents, to folks who want to talk to other parents about transition. All of these groups are moderated by BCBAs, so they're not just free-for-alls. This is a clinical setting, would be a good way of putting it. So nice to see Heather here, and Melissa, and Allison, and Jordan. So again, kind of coming back to, I'm going to talk a little bit more about ABA. And I'm going to loop in kind of Heather's question. One of the newer therapies that has come out of the behavior analytic field is called acceptance commitment therapy, ACT, which I know that I've talked to Heather about, and I've talked to other folks about, and that it's really, well, I don't want to say specific. There's all kinds of typically developing folks that use it, but it really is useful for folks who engage in negative self-talk, because it's exactly what it sounds like. It's about learning how to accept the sort of thoughts and behaviors that you're engaging in, and the ABA part of it is you sort of commit to changes. I will freely admit I am not an ACT trained person at this point. I've done some training. I'm level 1, which basically means I know some stuff. Haven't had the level 2 training yet. But it's a really powerful, another tool in the ABA toolkit. I know I've got a couple of friends of mine, and we've got a bunch of clinicians on the platform who are fluent in it, and it's really powerful. I personally specialize in working with mostly nonverbal folks. I try to get teach kids who can't talk how to talk. If I had a specialty, that's my specialty. So yeah, so hopefully I haven't had any specific questions of ABA, so I'm either mutilating it or people want to talk about other stuff. I'm going to check. I've got some other chats kind of coming in. Oh, that was nice. All right, it's a couple of questions from Heather and Allison helping me out there. I appreciate that. I've got a small team of people helping us with this Ask Me Anything, Allison, Sasha, and Marianne. Thank you very much. And I know Jordan's floating around out there somewhere. So if nobody has any more questions, I'll probably kind of wrap up at this point. This is usually about as long as these things go, about 45 minutes. I do want to thank you for listening and checking us out here. I am Adam Dreyfus. We have been talking about AnswersNow, an amazing new app that helps parents and caregivers of children and adults diagnosed with autism connect with their own clinician. We also are really happy to launch parent communities, which are free sort of chat rooms, moderated chat rooms for parents. You just go download the app, click find your community and join a group, and you will be in there with other parents, because if there's one thing, I said this at the top, that we have learned, and one of the things that we put this company together to address is parents who feel really isolated. It's hard being a parent. It's 10 times harder being a parent with a child with a disability. And it can be awfully isolating, extremely overwhelming, very stressful, but just know that you are not alone. There are plenty of other parents out there, and there are folks like myself who have been probably overly trained in how to help with a lot of the specific problems that you're dealing with, whether it's kids' behaviors or learning difficulties, social skills, school issues. We got you. So I want to thank everybody, especially Allison and Marianne and Sasha for leaning in. It was nice to see John and Jordan and Heather and Melissa. Thank you guys so much. Amy, there we go. You can never have too many Becks. They're making more. So I want to thank everybody, and we will see you guys at the next Ask Me Anything. We're going to be doing more of these over the next couple of months. Feel free, if you have a specific topic, you're like, man, I really wish you would talk about this. Definitely send us. We can customize these to your heart's content. So thanks very much. Have a wonderful, I won't say Thursday evening, it's a Wednesday evening here in Richmond, Virginia, and we will talk to you soon.